So in the backend, what do we have? We have a database, right? Database is collection of tables. That's correct. Database is what? Collection of tables. Each table will have some type of data, and collection of tables as a whole is called database. Right? Now, what are tables did we see yesterday in that flow? First was campaigns. So one table we have in the backend which stores all the campaign details. Another one is something which stores all the leads. Then we have counts. Then we have contacts. Then we have opportunities. And then we have contracts. Then we have order. These are the ones that we saw. Cases, solutions, products. Right? So I just want you to understand this structure well. Once you understand this, what is there in the backend, everything that you do on Salesforce, every single thing you plan to do will become a lot more easier. Right? So as of now, what we saw these things. There are a few more objects, in addition to this. These are the ones which we have seen. Object, when I say, I will use this terminology called object, which stands for table actually. So when I say object, I mean table. Okay. So there are a few more tables or objects which are there in Salesforce. As of now, we have just seen these. So let us understand, the structure at the back end for these things. So these are all tables: campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts. Every table can has a few columns and fields, columns and rows. For example, campaigns table. So in the campaigns table, there are several columns. Let's say we are talking about this as the campaigns table. In the backend, and it has column name, type, start date, end date, name, type, start date, end date, and what else we have? Let's say expected revenue, expected cost. So these are all fields in this. For this. So this is how your backend database tables are. Now every entry that you make here, so all the fields are like columns in the table. All the entries that you make, yesterday we made an entry, that entry goes into this as a record. Right. So we entered a campaign, let's say set conference. This gets entered, it's a conference, starts on 17th September and ends on 20th September. So this is a record, right? This is the row of data or the record that we entered. So this is referred to as a record. These are fields. This is a field, this field, and this complete thing is an object. Got this thing? So to make things simpler for you, object is table. I'm talking about Salesforce terminology. Field is column in the table, and a record is a row of data. Okay. So that is the concept. So that is what we have to understand. So this way we have all these tables in the backend. Alright. Now how are these tables connected to each other? Let us go and understand the structure of it. So to understand the structure, you don't have to do too many things. You don't have to go and create it. You just go to your developer edition. And I think developer edition is something that everyone has created, right? So you don't do it now, you can do it later. Just follow what I'm doing. Let us go and see the structure at the backend. To see the structure at the backend, you have to click on setup and then go to schema builder. Schema builder is something which will show you the schema of the backend thing. I actually talk about this schema in our initial sessions, so that you are aware of the background structure, and once you are aware of that, everything that we discuss in our sessions, you will be able to relate to things. What is happening, why is it happening, where is it actually impacting the things and all. So everything can be taken care of. So this we have here, all objects. Okay, now you have the option of selecting the objects that you want to see. Account, then campaign, lead, opportunity, contact. You must be thinking that why we are not able to see. See, all these objects are coming here. You have to bring them a little here and there. So that thing needs to be done. This navigation you have to do a little and bring them a little closer so that everything can fit on the screen. Now almost everything is here. Lead is here. Okay. Okay, so let's take these ones only. I'm not getting into anything else. I've taken these 4, 5. So my source was campaign, right? So this campaign gave me leads, right? So this is what gets created. Okay, let me make it a little smaller. I think you can see the screen, right? I mean, you can read what is there. Made it a little smaller to fit it into the screen. Okay, so campaign and lead are connected. Can you see this? We had a connection. So there is a campaign object that we have. There is a campaign table in the backend, which is related to the leads. Okay. Now when you see this kind of a connection here, you see this is a one-to-many connection. One point here is connected to many points here. You see the multiple points here in the leads, which means lead is a child of campaign. One campaign can be connected to multiple leads. Got it? Then from lead we convert it into account, contact. Okay, now if you see, account and contact is again a parent child. From lead you convert it into account and contact. So account and contact is again parent child. Now let me just go and bring the opportunities as well. Okay, here is the opportunity. So opportunity is a child of account as well as campaign. If you see it, opportunity is connected to, let it be here. So if you see, opportunity is connected to the account. So it's a child of account as well as a child of campaign. So, when you convert a lead into account, contact and opportunity, automatically the opportunity is connected to the campaign as well. So opportunity is the place where we are tracking all the deal related information, right? The sales, the amount of the sales. So why this connection they have established between campaign and opportunity? So that you can actually track how much revenue did you generate from that opportunity. So that can be tracked for that reason only. So opportunity is a child of campaign as well. Campaign and account. Got this thing? So this is how this relationship is. These are the tables. So this is the structure of the first half before sales. After sales, if you want, you can include cases also here. Case is also a child of account. So your first skill should be to understand this data structure, see and understand. This is the generic one. So no matter which organization or which client you are working for, these contact account cases, opportunity, these will be same. But there might be some other objects that the client where you start working, they might have created a few additional objects and all. The moment you start working on those, you have to kind of understand the data model at the back end before you can do anything. So that is it. Now this part is done. This all we have. Now yesterday when we were talking about, anyone has a question here?
Yeah, I have a doubt. I have a question. So how is campaign and account related?
Not related. No connection. Do you see any connection between these two? No. These are not related. Campaign is connected to lead and it is connected to opportunity. That's it. It is not connected to any account. So from the campaign either we get leads. If you want, you can create a relationship from here to here. But generally there is no requirement of connecting an account with a campaign, because through a campaign you get leads. That's it. Lead and account is also not connected. So account is something which is not a child in our sales force. Account is not a child of anything. It is kind of independent. Other things are child, like lead is child of this thing, contact is child, opportunity is child. Account is the primary thing. So everything revolves around account.
Okay.
Fine. Okay. So that is how this structure is. Now if you get into any of these objects, if I zoom it a little, now you can see campaigns, all the fields of the campaigns are listed. So these are all the columns and these are the data types in each of those columns. Like number sent is a number thing, expected revenue is currency, expected responses percentage, converted leads is number, campaign name is text, right? So for everything it is like this. Now that is first thing that I wanted you to understand, the structure. So now we understand it better. We don't get to see the actual tables, but the schema builder is something which helps us see the kind of structure that is there in the backend. Okay. Second, whenever we are talking about customization, now let's talk about that. Anyone has a question?
Yeah, can we in the schema builder can we see relation between the fields of two tables? Like just now you mentioned, like there is a one-to-many relationship between two tables. So can we?
Right. So the relationship is always between the tables. It's not between the fields of the tables. Okay. So there is the relationship which is between tables, and that relationship between tables is established using a field. So that is called a relationship field. So there is a field which creates the relationship. So if you see it here, and I'll talk about this thing in details later, but just because you asked, I'll just give you a little hint on this. Like for lead and campaign, there is a relationship, right? That is what we just talked about. So lead and campaign, there is a relationship. Now if you see, there is a field called campaign on the lead. Where it is? Here, this one, campaign. You see campaign field. So this is the field which is related to the campaign. So this is the field which is doing the relationship. So where you see the arrow coming, that is where the relationship field is, right? And campaign side, there is no field which is related to it. It's an object which is connected through this field. So how that relationship comes and all, we will talk about that part later, a little later. Okay. So now for this customization, when we are talking about, the first or the basic level of customization will include things like adding more fields. For example, in campaign, if you require one more field, okay, for your campaign you want to store let's say you have a special criteria of your campaign, allocated budget. So what is the budget that you have allocated for it? Okay. Or return on investment time, whatever. I mean, it can be anything, any functional requirement that the company can have. And if that field is not there in our Salesforce, because Salesforce has a limited number of fields, these are the fields that it has, right? If it happens to be, the field is not there, we can add more fields here. That is one. If your business requires to have a different object, a new object which is not here, so you can add more objects as well here. Object means table, right? For example, your business says we want to track the shipments, delivery shipment. We want to create an object where we will, whenever there is an order, they want to link a shipment with the order. For that order, there will be a shipment which will be sent, for example, right? And they want to track all the details. So that shipment details cannot be saved in any of these tables, right? All these tables are already having their own set of information. So then what you have to do? You have to create one more table. Got this thing? So that is how our customization part works in Salesforce. Alright. So this is the basic level of these are the basic level of customizations which you can do. And on top of that, you can always go ahead and do automations and a lot of other things which we will gradually get into. But I want you to understand how to add fields and objects. So this is one thing. Other thing is, sometimes once we can add fields and add objects, which means we can create our own data structure as well. If I add 4 different objects and I create a different database for that, that thing can also be done. So I'll get into that part. First of all, let's see how to add fields and objects. Okay. So adding field is simple. For example, in the campaigns, let me take the same example. In the campaigns, I want to add a field called budget allocation or allocated budget, something like that. What do I need to do for that? I would just need to go to setup, then customize, and then go to campaigns, and then go to fields, and then scroll down a little, you will see the option of new field. So just click on the new field and add it. Okay, so we'll add a new field. Just give me one moment, just one quick moment please. So we just came to this setup, customize, campaign, whichever object you want to create the field in. You will see all your existing objects are available here under customize. Wherever you want to add the field, you can just go and click on the fields and then add the field. Now the moment you start adding the field, you first have to select the field type. What type of information will go into this, right? So if you see, there is an option of relationship field also, but there's something that we will do a little later. This is used for creating the relationships. I want to put a field called allocated budget, which will be currency. Select currency, go to next. Give it a name. What will be the maximum length of it? Maximum budget allocated can be 1,000,000, so I put it 7 digit. I mean, you have that option. Decimal places, anything. Okay. So just give it a label and a name, length. The fields which have this red color mark here are required. Other things you can skip for now. Fine. So just go in this, click on next. On step number 3, click on visible and then click on next. What this step is, what it does and all, we will talk about it a little later. Whatever it is, on step 4, save it as it is. Done. So you have created one more field called allocated budget for the campaigns. Now if a user tries to enter a campaign detail, he will get to see your field as well. See? Got it? So you have already started customizing your Salesforce. You added a field. Now the question is, can you delete a field which is already existing? The answer to that is no. Whatever is provided by Salesforce, you cannot go and delete those things. You can hide them. So there is an option of hiding them. We will look into that later. But you cannot delete them. Let's say now allocated budget is there. You don't want this budgeted cost. For example, your company does not have this budgeted cost concept. They have an allocated budget concept. So you can go and hide this field, but you cannot delete this. Okay. So there is a simple concept that we have to understand. In Salesforce, we have standard and custom. Standard is something which is provided by Salesforce. Okay, all these objects which are there already, all the fields which are there already, these are all standard. This is all provided by Salesforce. Why is it called standard? Because that is standard for every organization that is using Salesforce. You have purchased Salesforce, you will have these objects. I purchase Salesforce, I will also have these objects. It's standard for everyone, right? And they do not allow us to change the standard things. They do not allow us to delete the standard things. Custom is what we create. So the field that we just created, that is a custom field. Okay. The fields which are already there into the system, which were the pre-created fields which were there in the system for campaign or for any other object, those are all standard fields. So if you go to the setup and customize for campaigns, fields, so you will see this thing, campaign standard fields. So standard fields are all the fields which are already there. Custom fields, campaign custom fields are the fields that we have created. Got this thing? So now a quick question to all of you. On accounts, I have a field called industry. Is it a standard field or a custom field?
Standard.
Why do you think it's standard? Someone said standard, right? Why standard? Why not custom? How are you so sure it's not custom? How will we make out? I mean, how would we understand? I'm sure the answer that you gave is a guess. But how will we make sure that it's standard or custom? Are you sure it's standard and not custom?
Yeah, looks like standard, yeah.
How does it look like standard? What is the difference between a standard and custom field looks wise? The point is, see, we cannot understand till the time, sorry, who is that? Okay, the point is very simple. When you are a developer, you cannot work on assumptions based on, right now you might be assuming that, okay fine, this is a new developer edition, but this is my developer edition. I might have already existing fields and all. So first lesson is, don't work on any of the assumptions, because what you see on the interface is just for the end users. For developer, it's always important to understand, because I have seen situations where people have created a custom field, and the name of the custom field is very similar to one of the standard fields. As of now, you do not know what all standard fields are there. So the way to understand that is the same way. Go to setup and then go to customize. For accounts, where will we go to check it? In the accounts, and then go to fields and see industry field is where, okay, here it is, which is listed under standard fields, which means yes, it's standard field. Got it? See, there are so many custom fields also here. Number of locations. So I could have asked you this thing and you still have thought of it as a standard field. So for you, every time whenever you are seeing a field, you have to work on that. You have to make certain changes or customizations which need to be done. You just need to go and see whether that is standard or custom. And where will you go to check that? Setup, customize, go to that object and check it. Clear? So that is one thing. Now let's go and create an object. Field creating is fine. Everyone is clear with that. Your assignment will be, after this session, your assignment will be to go and create fields. Look into the different field types listed there. I'm sure you will understand all the field types. They are very simple. We have field types like date, time, currency, phone, email, URL. So these are things which you will understand. Pick list, checkbox, right? So, but I still want you to spend some time on those fields, create them, understand the different field types, get a little more familiar with those things, right? What all field types are there? Because understanding the field types is your way to understand what kind of a data model you are planning to design. If you know what all field types are allowed by Salesforce, then you can decide it properly, that okay fine, this is what I should be designing, this is how I should be designing it and all, right? Okay, so now let's go and create an object. Let's see how to create an object. To create an object, for example, in my company, campaign lead, account, contact opportunity, in our company we decided that we will have an object, sales invoice. In that we will have details of the sales also. So whenever there is a sale, we will track the details of the sales in the sales invoice. So we'll just go to setup. This time, because you have to create, you don't want to customize any existing object, you want to create something, you'll just go to setup, create, click on objects, Got it? Set up create objects. Very simple. Click on new custom object. So the object which we are going to create is a custom object. It's not a standard object. Put a label and plural label for the object. Sales invoice. Okay. As of now, just put a label, name, plural label for it, and rest, whatever is there, let it be there. Eventually, you will start understanding everything. Now, there is a field, whenever you create an object, there is a default name field which is created for that object. Okay. So what is the label that you want to put for that field? This is the label of that field. Sales invoice name. You think it's becoming big, make it SI name, whatever. Invoice name. Okay. And data type for this field is text. Deployment status should be deployed always. If it is in development, then this object will not be available to the end users. Okay. Sometimes you are developing something and you do not want the end users to see that. So at that time you should keep it in development, but as of now, while you are working on your developer edition, you should always keep it deployed, because there is no other team which will look into it. You are the only one accessing it, right? So keep it deployed, save it. So your object is created. What have we done? We have created the object. Object is done. Now once you have created the object, if you scroll down a little, you will see a list of standard fields. So there are 4 standard fields which are created by default. The moment you create an object, Salesforce automatically creates 4 standard fields for that object. Any object you create, 4 fields it will have by default. One is the name field that we created, that we set the name for. This is one thing. Created by, last modified by, and owner. If you have had a chance to look into other objects, you must have noticed that these 3 fields are in all the objects. Go to anything, go to accounts. By default, you will see there are these fields: created by, last modified by, these things are there, and owner. See, created by, last modified by, and owner, account owner. Every field, every object in Salesforce, standard or custom, will have these 4 fields: name, created by, last modified by, and owner. Okay. What all 4 fields? Name, created by, last modified by, and owner. Out of these 4, these 3 fields are system generated. You cannot go this thing you can edit, owner you can edit, but created by and last modified by you cannot even edit. So these fields actually track who created the record and who modified it last. Let's say if you have created an account and someone goes and makes a big blunder there, you always have to do an audit and understand that who was the user who did that, who made the change and all that. So for that reason, these 2 fields are there. Name is basically a field that you can enter the value into. So any object that you create will have these 4 fields by default. So we just created our custom object and it has these 4 fields. In addition to this, in case I need any other field, invoice name. Apart from invoice name, if I need any other fields, those I can add as custom fields. So you see that there is no new option for standard fields. Standard, whatever is there from Salesforce side, that's it. You have the option of adding custom fields, which you can add, like invoice date. Okay, so just click on new, make it a date field. Call it invoice date. Go to next. Let's say there is an amount on the invoice, make it currency. Go to next. So as of now, I've told you that on step 3, just make it visible, go to next. Fine. We don't have to do anything here for now. Once we understand about the admin stuff, then we will talk about this part. Alright. So clear? So this way you can add the fields into that object that you have created. How will you access this object? Go to setup, create objects. Now the object that you have created is listed here. You can click on this object. You will get to see the details. From here you can go and click on new. How do we access the standard objects? By clicking on setup, customize. How do we access the custom objects? By clicking on setup, create. Got it? Simple. Creating fields, creating objects. Very simple. No problem in that. Okay. Now the
So I have a question. So here all the tabs here, like campaigns, leads, accounts, they are all objects or tables, we can say.
Yes.
So if we create a new object like we did now, so will it be displayed as a tab?
It will not be displayed as a tab automatically, because this is something that I talk about, and let's again get back into this, understand the front end back end concept. Tab is something which is in the front end, which is on the interface. What we are creating now is in the back end, right? So what we have to do, we have to go ahead and create a tab for this object. Got it? So that is the thing. It's more like so think of it, just give an example for you to understand. This is your room and this is the wall. You have a light here in the room and you have a light here in the room and you have a light here in the room. Okay, so you have fixed 3 lamps or lights in the room, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you are sitting here. Can you operate the lights sitting here directly?
No.
What do we need? And you have a fan also here. You have a fan also here. Now when you have to use the fan, will you directly go and start pushing the fan, or what will you do? How will you use the fan?
We'll use the switch.
Yes. So that is what we have done now. We have fixed all these things, but you cannot access it till the time you do not create a component in the front end, because end user is sitting here, right? He cannot get inside this. So that is what we have to understand. Tab is what is in the front end. So for all these things, what you have to do, you have to either create a switchboard kind of thing where you can put the switches for everything. So same thing. So this is our front end interface. This is the end user, and this is all the database table or whatever you are creating, whatever you have created. When you create a field on an existing object, that's absolutely fine, because for accessing that object, like I created a field for campaign, that's fine. There is no problem in that, because I already have a tab for accessing campaign object, right? But for accessing the sales invoice, this is like a new fan which has been installed. Now I cannot operate that till the time I do not have the switch. So what is the switch here? The tab. Got it? So there is a big confusion that I see a lot of people have between the tab and an object. They start feeling that this tab that we see and the object are same. No. Tab is front end, which allows us to interact with the object which is there in the backend. Okay, so tab is a part of. Now if you put a switch to fan here, does it mean your switch and fan are the same thing? No, right? Switch is different, fan is different. So that is the difference between a tab and object. Got it? So tab is just a part of the interface or the UI, and your object is the backend actual table. Got it? So now let's go and create a tab. As of now, I don't see any tab for this object, so I cannot access this object. I cannot enter data into this. I cannot operate. I'm just able to create the fields and all those things. How do I put data into this? So for putting the data into this, you have to go to setup, create tabs. So once you have created an object, then you will go and create a tab. Click on tabs. Click on new custom object tabs, custom object tab. So you want to create a tab for custom objects. So let's click on new and then select which custom object. You can pick a tab style. Tab style is nothing but an icon and a color. So you can pick anything of your choice. Go to next. Let it be as it is. Click on next. Let it be as it is. Step number 3 to both of them. Click on next and save it. Now this tab has got included in here, sales invoice tab. Because of shortage of space, they have put it here. That's fine. So you can just click on the sales invoice tab, and then you can start entering data into it. So you start accessing this. Invoice name is invoice 0 date. Now you started entering data. Amount is 50,000. Fine. Easy. So it's so simple to actually start creating things here in Salesforce. So almost.
So after we custom tab, can we delete the custom tab if we want to?
No, you can delete it. It will not be available here. Anything which is custom can be deleted, because you created, you have all the rights to delete. Anything which is standard, you cannot delete, because that is not your property. You did not create. Whatever you have created which is custom, you can delete. There is no problem in that.
Okay.
Standard, anything cannot be deleted. Whatever it is, field, object, fine. Custom object also you can delete. Custom fields you can delete. Alright. So, we're clear on this part? Anyone has a question so far?
Can I control the order the fields are displayed on my tab? Like
Yeah.
first I want to have invoice date displayed, then
Yeah.
name, amount.
Yes, that can be controlled. So that is something which depends on the app that has been selected. This is the app drop down, right? So that thing depends on the app that you have selected. So order can be controlled. So now the next thing that we will talk about is creating an app of your own. Now, because see, try to understand it from a functional point of view. Because I can create my objects and I can put fields into that. Now I can create an application, or I can create a few objects for my requirement, whatever requirement I have. I do not have to create tables. I'm actually talking about tables here, right? We're talking about a database table. Now that Salesforce does not stop me from creating table for storing any data. Will I always have to create a table to store sales related information? No. I can create a table for storing my employees' data. Can I not do that? Do that, right? I can create a table for storing the PTOs of my employees, their beneficiaries, their insurance details, whatever is required, their payment details. So if I create 4-5 such objects which are related to my employee, so will it not allow me to create a complete employee management system? We were talking about customer relationship management. Now I'm talking about an employee management. Can I not do that? You see the possibility? If you create 4-5 such objects for which you require to manage your employees, you can easily have an employee management system for your company using these custom objects. Same way, if we for example, if you create a custom object called project, another custom object called client, another one called consultant, another one called assignments, another one called payments. A few, let's say 4-5 objects which you can create to manage all your projects. If you are a company which is working on different projects from different clients, you can do this thing as well, right? So that is the concept on Salesforce. You can use Salesforce for creating any object. It can be your CRM or non-CRM, anything in the world, because we have the freedom of creating objects, and it's very easy. We saw how easy it is to create the object onto the cloud. So on their platform, Force.com platform, we can create these things very easily. When I can create these things, I can use it for anything. So I want you to become a developer in those lines who can design anything, not restricted to the CRM thing. CRM is basically, again, as I talked about it earlier, is the most popular product that they have. Okay, most of the companies use Salesforce for CRM. Okay, the major chunk of clients is for CRM, but it is not used only for CRM. It is now being used for other things as well, because of this flexibility that we can create our own objects and we can put whatever data we want. Got it? So that is the advantage here. Now there is one more thing that we will do here, that is creating an app. We'll create an app here. Already I see there you must be able to see a longer list on your developer edition, like sales, call center. I have 2 of them. I have done a bit of customization on my system. So sales application. if I want to design an employee management application, can't I do that? I can easily do that. I can just go to setup, create, and then I click on app. Then I click on new. Next, give it a name. So creating an app is simplest of all. You just have to go new, say custom app, and employee management app. Your app is ready. Go to next. Okay, this is where you can control what all tabs you want in the app. So the complete list of all the tabs is here in the left hand side as available tabs and the selected tabs. So which all tabs you want to see in this app? If you don't want to see any of these tabs, it's absolutely fine. If you just want to include the tabs that you have created, so you can create 4 or 5 objects and their tabs, and you can include those in this app. Let's say these are the 2 tabs I want to include in this. Go to next. Make it visible. Go to next. That's it. Right, done. That is it. Now, where will I see the app? It already gets into this thing. If you click on the drop down, you will get to see the app. For that app, what all tabs you selected, you will get to see those tabs here. So you could have created, as I told you this example, 4 or 5 objects which can be required by your employee management app, and you could have easily created an app for employee management. Is it not simple? Easy to create apps here, right? So that is it.